Let's like to welcome everybody here. Hey, thank you for coming and come back anytime. Call to order, prayer. I'd like to call on Joel Rogers to open our meeting with a prayer.
Dear God, we come now asking for your blessings as we try to conduct the business for this county, to improve the lives of its citizens and to make its future brighter for those who are here and the young people to come. Grant us now with the ability to think clearly and be analytical in all of our decision makings. And let us be reminded of the humble opportunity that we have to make a difference this day, tomorrow, and henceforth. God, grant us the serenity to do what we can and to know the difference when we cannot. These are the things we ask in your son Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joel. Freedom of Information announcement in accordance with the South Carolina Code of Laws 1976 is amended. The Marion Star Motors Enterprise has been notified of the date, time, place, and agenda of this meeting. I need an approval for the meeting of May 14th.
So move.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye. Mr. Chairman, I have Mr. Floyd as a proxy tonight.
Okay, let that be noted. All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. All right, this time I would like to ask Ms. Ryland Marsh and her family to come up. I'd like to really say something. G.C. White, first time he's been in council chairman since he left. I think he had enough of it. All right, this is remarks for Ms. Ryland Marsh. I'm pleased to be here this evening to announce the receipt of South Carolina Association of Counties 2024 Board of Directors scholarships for Marion County. The Association of Counties is the only statewide organization representing county government in South Carolina. The scholarship program was created in 1998 to recognize and reward outstanding students who plan to pursue higher education in our state. The program awards 4 one-time $5,000 scholarships to graduating high school seniors who are residents of the county. The association chooses by lot. Marion County was among those drawn in 2024. The scholarship selection committee met this morning to review all applicants. I don't envy the difficult decision the committee members had to make, but I do believe they selected the young woman whose accomplishment set her apart. This year's recipient from Marion County is headed to Coastal Carolina University Law School of Business in the fall, with plans to one day return to Marion County and run their own business. This young woman has an impressive academic and athletic record. She has been inducted into the National Honor Society. I just did miss it. That's and is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and the Yearbook Tag. She's also a leader on the volleyball court. Having played throughout her high school career, she was named Regional Player of the Year and received the All-State designation for 2 years. She also played softball and was on the varsity cheerleading team for 2 years. In the community, she is an active member of the Marion Baptist Church and has danced at Emlyn Davis School of Dance for 16 years. At this time, please congratulate Ryland Marsh on being named recipient of the South Carolina Association of Counties 2024 Board of Directors Scholarship for Marion County. Ryland, it's an honor to recognize you today on behalf of South Carolina Association of Counties and Marion County Council. I wish you the best in the future. Now, would the proud father have anything to say?
We thank y'all for
Good sale of insurance.
this honor, that's right. Gotta sell a lot of insurance to get her new store,
All right.
but, we just thank everybody for this honor.
We appreciate Ryland's commitment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you. You see, it's always good to see you.
We get a official with full council.
Yeah. Somebody here for the camera?
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
You put that. Good to see Item 6, resolutions.
I know we have just the one from last meeting where I was waiting on the information. I don't know if Mr. Gilchrist, did you bring that one up for Mr. Leggett?
I did not.
Some,
I'll have it. I'll send it to you.
okay. I just hadn't seen anything on it, but other than that, I'm not aware of anything we have left over.
Ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council. We have really just one to discuss. Item A, just for housekeeping purposes, is still on hold. Item B and C are on hold pending the public hearing, which will be on June the 11th for both of those items. So that just takes us to item D. Just to remind you and those in attendance, first reading does not require any action to be taken. Simply reading the title is sufficient. This is first reading of ordinance 2024-09. Fiscal year budget 2024-2025. That's all I have.
All right, item 8, committee reports. Ms. Davis, committee number 1 has no report this time.
Right.
Is there anything before that committee? All right, Mr. Tenney,
Has
committee 2,
Have nothing, Mr. Chair, at this time.
no report.
Yes, sir.
Item 9, legal update.
I don't have anything in this section, Mr. Chairman. I do have a contractual matter that's on the agenda for executive session.
Administrative update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of council, those in attendance, thank you for being here. I just have a few items to update you on. The first is we need council's approval for the accommodation tax that the Accommodation Commission met about. The first is the Golden Leaf Festival at $8,000, the Foxtrot Festival, $8,000, Wildlife Action, $7,000, Marion Chamber of Commerce, $6,000, Mullins Chamber of Commerce, $6,000, HMRA, which is Historic Marion Revitalization, $6,000, Town of Nichols, $6,000, Town of Sellers, $6,000, and Mullins Downtown Development, $2,000. So we just need council's approval for those accommodations.
You've heard the recommendation by the administrator, what I hear.
I'd like to get a little more explanation on how that works.
As far as how the board votes on how they differentiate and divide up the 55,000 that is allocated from the county.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
No.
Organization says in an application. Yeah.
Okay.
And submitted to the accommodations tax committee.
And it's reviewed by the entire committee.
A notice is sent out in the paper about it every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So move.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The ayes have it, motion passes.
The next item I have is, we had a mass casualty, event today. The training was provided by our emergency management department and allowed the counties and the city's first responders, to participate. We had Scott Goldstein from Baltimore County Fire and EMS to provide and stop the bleed tactical emergency critical care training for all. Today's event had an active shooter with multiple gunshot victims and numerous agencies to respond to. We would like to appreciate all the participating agencies, including our very own council members, Mr. Foxworth and Mr. Gilchrist, for participating. We would also like to thank the mayor of Mullins for his participation, as well as Sheriff Brian Wallace. This training went well and helps to provide feedback for our fire service, law enforcement, and EMS. Emergency management intends on having many more trainings and exercises that will give our first responders the knowledge and confidence to apply themselves in any emergency response that presents itself in our county. Finally, just want to remind everyone that Monday, we will be closed in observance for Memorial Day. Mr. Chairman, that's all that I have.
Thank you. Any requests and comments by members of council? Mr. Colonel.
I'd like to thank all the veterans, first responders, all the military, and want everybody to have a safe Memorial Day. Enjoy your days off. I got to work. That's it, Chairman.
All right, anybody else?
I have a question.
Ms. Chambers, I was contacted about the Columbus Williams Park. There's a memorial dedication plaque that they have out there for him. It's torn down. They have it laying in front of the flagpole. If we can somehow get that fixed, placed back up, and also the tree limbs out there. They're so long and overhanging in the park, and we request that we try to get them trimmed up, make the park look a little better, if we can get out and enjoy this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a question for county attorney. I think he's probably best suited to answer this question. When it comes to penny sales tax funds, what are the restrictions in terms of how they have to be spent, when those funds have to be used, if they've been allocated?
And I will get you the answer to your question. So that body of law is actually very, very specific. And even when we go through each and every, well, we've done 2 of those penny sales tax ordinances and referendums. We have special counsel. Our bond counsel is actually who goes through that, because they're very unique and specific rules and requirements for that. So I can find out that answer and get it to you at the next meeting, if that's okay.
Thank you. Or before the next meeting.
Oh, we need any, Mr. Ken?
Yes. Mr. Chair, I would like to have our county administrator to address the audience and the people on live stream about our dual taxes, county taxes versus city taxes, and why the cities are paying dual taxes, before I go into what I have to say.
And I'm gone.
Administrator or attorney?
I'm sorry, the attorney. I'm sorry, the attorney.
All right, sure. So it's kind of, I'm gonna give you a very simplified view of it, because that's the way I work, is simplified. Under Title 12 and certain provisions in our state constitution, every jurisdiction in the state has taxing authority. There are even special purpose districts who have taxing authority as well. But that taxing authority is set aside to cover the duties, responsibilities, the obligations that those jurisdictions have to their constituents. And it ranges, it spans the gamut of all sorts of services and requirements that are there. So whenever any body, the body meaning governmental body, governmental entity, state or, state too, county or city taxes under Title 12, which is the specific title that references and gives the authority for the property taxes. It sets forth all those requirements that you have. And then you have other provisions, like I think where the question is going, so I'll bring that up, is Title 24, which covers municipalities are required to house their inmates or have some purpose for which to house their inmates, utilizing the tax dollars that they tax with. That's the basis for that's set forth. So whenever any jurisdiction, again, specifically talking about a municipality in this instance, taxes for whatever the things are that their duties, their requirements, or obligations they're supposed to provide to their constituents. One of those is housing the inmates. That's the purpose of Title 24. More evidence to that it actually exists, and that's the way this works, is out of all the counties in this state, there's only 2 that don't have agreements with their municipalities to house the inmates. We're one of them. So all the rest of them have it. If there was some issue that was really there about double taxation and that those fees that are provided for under the municipal agreements to cover those costs, if there was something to that, we wouldn't have all those counties with those agreements with all those municipalities to do that. So there really isn't necessarily anything there to that measure. That's not the way that it works. Each jurisdiction is responsible for their inmates, for their law enforcement, for their obligations that are both, again, under the state constitution and under Title 12. Is that good?
Yes, so thank you. And Mr. Chair, the reason why I brought this up is that I got a phone call yesterday from one of my constituents that lives in the city of Marion, saying that we as a council trying to raise taxes in the city of Marion. And I just want to put it on record, that is not true. We are not trying to raise any taxes in the city of Marion or the county of Marion. I'm a taxpayer myself, and I'm fighting to keep the taxes low as possible. But it's stemming from, we're trying to come up with a resolution or something about what our attorney spoke about, trying to come to a common goal, a common solution to try to work with each other. And when I ran 2 years ago, I ran on transparency. I'm not hiding nothing from anybody. And that's why I'm here now to talk about why we at where we at now. We got live stream. Since I've been here, we got live stream, to be transparent. Since I've been here, we meet quarterly with the city of Marion, the city of Mullins, Sellers, and Nichols to talk about the business of the county and the city and see how we can better our county and cities. That's being transparent and unite together. That's what we try to do. My constituent said that we're trying to force a resolution on them, which is not true, to raise their taxes. And I did my research and I did some fact checks on it. On Tuesday, June 6, 2023, our administrator, Chavis Wofford, along with the city of Marion administrator, Alan Ammons, city of Mullins administrator, Holly Jackson, Mayor Woodbury, city of Mullins, and Jimmy Floyd, the jail director of Marion County. They went into a meeting to talk about this. No resolution, nothing came about it. Information I received, I'm not sure about this, but our prior administrator, along with the city of Marion, Allen, and the police chiefs and the sheriff had a meeting about this resolution. Nothing came about it. So now we just thought it was time, stop kicking the can down the road and just come up with a common goal to try to solve this solution. But they're saying the county is trying to raise their taxes 2.8 mils to cover the cost of that jail. That's not true. Understand, I got 1 mil for the city of Marion is $15,000. So 2 mils, 30,000, 41, $43,000. They're trying to raise, just saying to put it on the backs of us. And that's not true. Because I talked with several city council members. I addressed my concerns with them. They had questions. I brought their questions back to our council members and we addressed it. We sent it back to them. We heard nothing from them. But now since we put something in place, now it's a big deal trying to make council look like they're gonna have to raise their taxes as council. That's not true. We didn't discuss anything about them raising their taxes. We just want to come to a common goal, common solution of this issue here. When we first started, all we heard was what the city does for the county. And that's right, they does a wonderful job. We work together, and I commend them for that. But let me tell you what the county does also. The county HMRA give this last fiscal budget year, we gave $5,500 to HMRA. Foxtrot, in which they do a good job. When I talk about HRA, they does a great job. Foxtrot, last year, we gave them $9,000, which is a good event. I went this past Saturday, took my son, looked at the fireworks, enjoyed myself in the parade and downtown. They do a great job. Marion Chambers, we gave them $6,000 and they do a great job also. That's a total of $20,000 and $500 that we contribute back to the city. So it's not they do all for us, we do for them, this is what it's do for us. The county attorney and their city attorney was communicating about this issue the last, 2 or 3 months?
He and I have talked for about the last 3 months.
About 3 months.
Occasionally, right?
Nothing came about it. And I keep saying that because they were saying that we're trying to force something on them, but we wasn't. All along, we tried to work with them and try to come to a common goal. I asked them to meet several times and nothing ever came about it. My administrator called me this morning and said Tanya Brown contacted her about this issue. But my concern is that the energy we're spending on trying to make whoever look bad or whatever, the county council member or a particular person look bad, use that same energy to work together. You know how much we can accomplish by working together? That's all we ask is to work together. Together we stand, divided we fall. We need to stand together on any solution we have in Marion, instead of trying to put us on 15 News. That hurt me to my heart when I heard that. Because I don't think none of our council members ever would do any city or anybody like that. That really hurt me to my heart when I heard that. So whoever's stirring the pot, use that same energy to work together. I beg you to, please. Let's work together. I'm trying to make sure I get it all in. I'm sorry, just give me a few minutes. And to my constituents that called me on last night and questioned me about what's going on, I commend that person. Because as a taxpayer and a voter of this county, she holding me as their representative accountable. And I thank her for that. And I'm putting on live right now. If anybody else in my District 7 that have any questions, call me. I will come to your house. I will meet you anywhere you need to discuss what we're doing, because I'm not hiding anything. And my District 7 is consists of majority of the South end of Marion, near the police department, all that, Bobby L. Davis Boulevard, and the other part of my county is like Bluff Road, Shannon Road, Greenwood Park, all that. So I'm putting on record that if any have any issues about tax dollars or anything, please call me. And just like my representative held me accountable, I'm asking everybody else to hold every other elected official accountable. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I have one more. To follow up on what Councilman Tenney said, and I would like our attorney to clarify this. I also was getting calls in previous conversations, and it was said that Marion County charges the city or municipalities for the collection of their taxes. Can you clarify a little bit of that on if we charge a fee or millage or percentage on what we collect?
I can speak to that.
You can, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foxworth, and members in the audience. We, the county, do not hold any percentage of taxes that is collected by the county and then redispersed out to our municipalities. There's zero collection. We don't charge and we don't hold any money.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, I would like, I'm sorry.
I have a question for our attorney again on this issue. You mentioned that we are one of 2 counties in the state that does not have an agreement in place. Is this type of agreement required by state law?
The agreement itself is not required. Under Title 24, it says if a municipality is not going to do it themselves, then yes, they need to have an agreement to facilitate that.
So essentially what the policy we're going to put in place follows along with state law.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I'd like to add and for the record that we did send a letter to the cities of Marion and Mullins, and we was supposed to talk about it tonight and vote on it tonight. But we agreed to hold off, to give them another chance, opportunity to come to a round table with us to talk about this. So we want y'all to see we've been over backwards to work with all cities. We're not forcing nothing down anybody's throat. So I just want to put on record that we're going to hold off on it to this meeting and try to set up another meeting with the cities and talk about it.
Well said. I would like for everybody to get together and let's come to agreement where we all could get along. Because that's what, when Dwayne was running, that's what he wanted, transparency with his people. And he wanted transparency with the county and the city, and that's what we've been trying to do. So everybody, I see y'all sitting out there looking, y'all please get together with that little young lady right there and y'all come up with something. And that way we won't be looking dumb up here saying that y'all paying tax. Thank you.
I don't think anybody's looking dumb.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go up on the tax.
It might be dumb, but
Yeah, just plumb dumb. And I might have said it wrong, but I just don't want us to be held accountable for the city man saying, well, they went up on the taxes. So they can handle
people can say anything and they can do anything. We just gotta be able to respond,
Transparency.
have transparency on why we did something. We've shared a good relationship with all the cities, all the towns, in Marion County. And I'd like to keep that relationship. So I think, Chavis, if you could get us a meeting,
Yes, sir.
we can all sit down and either come up with a consensus or not. But we gotta try to do something, see which
Is-
direction we're gonna go.
Mr. Chairman and Vice Chair, members of council, if you allow me, I will work with Alan Ammons and we'll get a meeting together.
Don't leave Mullins out.
I won't.
Sellers.
I won't.
Sure.
And Nichols.
Mr. Penny.
To our county attorney, is that like, I know we briefly talked with the sheriff department, is that something like a state ordinance or what? I mean, that's what I want to make sure is this not we, or is it something the state recommend also?
right. So the terminology that's in whatever agreement is put together from the county perspective well, you can do it different ways. About half the counties in the state have it they actually have an ordinance that establishes this process. The rest of them just do it by simple resolution. The problem that I see in the overall, I'm going to use my air quotes, agreement side of things is that if you put something out there that is an agreement's usually something similar to this. It has a term, a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever. And you find yourself every time that term comes up, you're rehashing this issue and it's all coming out again. And that's why a lot of the counties that have done this by way of resolution, I think it fits a lot better because what the resolution is saying, which is exactly what ours says, is that any municipality that's in our county that wants us to house their inmates through an agreement, these are the terms that the agreement has to set forth. So that way you're not revisiting this issue every time you turn around. Now, it's done by simple resolution, so it can be modified by resolution. So if it needs to change at some point in the future, you have the ability to do that. But I think that's a much more efficient way to handle it than something where you have to keep coming back every time you turn around and spend this kind of effort and really give the unfortunate ability to have something stirred up that is really not, at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. And I say that because of this. Last year, in the middle of 2023, when all this issue came up, I asked Mr. Floyd a direct question because at the time I was still living in the city of Marion. I had some folks ask me about, well, what is the cost? I mean, what kind of cost are we talking about? So I asked Mr. Floyd, if this measure was in place the fiscal year prior to where we were at the time, what would the cost be? And he went and did his math and called me back and said $2,700 is what it would have cost the city of Marion if this measure was in place the prior 12 months. That's it. So he's the one that has those numbers. You know, I don't have anything else to go on, but again, I just find that unfortunate that we have this massive of an issue being drummed up over something in the grand scheme of things. It's just not that expensive.
Could you repeat that amount?
$2,700.
And also, Mr. Chair, I'd like to put on records that when we as council discussed this, it was a unanimous decision to put this resolution out. It wasn't one or two or four, it was 7 of us agreed to do it. I don't put that on record because I don't want anybody to think it's just a small portion of council trying to push this through or try to make something happen. It was 7 of us voted to say, okay, let's go forward with it.
Can you find out how he came up with that
Yes, sir.
$2,700?
I can.
Any other questions?
All of them?
All right, we need an executive session for what reason?
Mr. Chairman, we just need an executive session for contractual, no personnel matter.
We need an executive session for a contractual matter.
So move.
Motion, second, discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise? The ayes have it.